welcome back, everyone, for another CBSI Hot 10 show. Make sure you go over to comicbookinvest.com and check out the list there on the site where I might put in some little extra details and footnotes that we might not cover on the show tonight. Also, make sure you check out all of the content here on the channel. Please comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see this week's list, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and we will be right back.
Notable sales.
Our first book is a classic.
Adventure Comics 247. First Legion of Superheroes. It's just a great Silver Age key. The 7.0 went for $9,600. It's getting close to being a $10,000 book in that 7.0 range, all-time high. It's a nice book, recognizable cover. It's made that proper slow climb, which you'd like to see in a book, that slow, steady appreciation year over year over year. No big moves up or down, just steady up. So it's a good sale.
The best part of DC, especially in the Silver Age, is they tell you exactly on the cover when the first appearance is coming there because they're featuring it. I think they should get back to that, and so should Marvel. That way, we don't have to have debates on what a first appearance and a first goal is anymore. It'll just say first featuring the Legion of Superheroes. We can take care of it that way. First time we get to see Bat Hound. First time we see Aquatot or whatever the turd was. We can do it all. It'll be
Aquatot.
That makes so much sense. Absolutely makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't possibly be your idea.
No, this was, as Joe said, this was a book that it has steady gain. It also, you see this a lot of times with DC Silver Age, and just seeing that people finally, after a couple of years of taking a break, of going after some of these just steady key gainers, we're getting back to normality where you see steady growth on a lot of these, which is nice. I mean, it's good to see. If you're somebody who likes to hold comics for long term, these are probably the ones that you're starting to put a little bit of money in. Maybe not in the 7.0, but 7.0 not too long ago wasn't anywhere close to this price. It just keeps on going.
And it didn't have the wild ups and down roller coaster rides of the pandemic, which is also
Silver Age DC. You see it all the time. There wasn't so drops because it wasn't big. Yeah, there wasn't big gains. You know, you get your 13%. So there you go.
Just like Joe said, that steady climb.
Yeah, this is the fixed income for your portfolio, folks.
Yes,
right.
Our next notable though, classic sci-fi.
Yeah, so this is L.B. Cole from 1946. I mean, look at those colors on that book from way back then. And I look at this book and I see classic sci-fi. It sold for $8,400. Last time it sold anywhere near this was in 2020 for $3,800. So that's a nice little jump. I see this and I see like Futurama, or I see like classic sci-fi. Like, I mean, that's what I see when I look at this. Yeah. All the bright colors, all the just, it's clean and rocket ships and space. It looks awesome.
And this is opposite of DC Silver Age. This is undervalued, get big spikes out of it. So whatever you want to do.
Well, at least, you know, these two, there's always gaps. There's these big gaps of 2-3 years sometimes before you see a grade sell. Yeah. And so sometimes you get those weird pops, but it's like, you know, you're not getting like 1 or 2 of these selling every year. It's like, oh, one sold in 2018. Oh, one sold 5 years later at that.
Right, but still percentage wise, if you take out the percentage wise, it's a far wider gain per year than it is under the DC Silver Age, where you're getting a smaller percentage, but a steadier gain. So
plus I think more people know who Cole is now than they probably did 5-10 years ago.
Cole kind of reminds me of like the pre-code horror around 16, where people were picking up but didn't know what it was, and then you got into like 18 and 19 and started really popping off. So you're seeing the same type of
and it's one of the few golden age people. You see that signature on there. You look at Matt Baker books, you're like, is that Baker?
Oh yeah.
But Cole, you see that LB Cole on there.
Just chopping the tip off right there.
It's a moil. And with that, those were our notable sales. So let's get into the actual list. Starting off with our first book.
Number 10.
It's here, folks.
Number 10, we have Ultimate X-Men #1 from superstar artist, or so they tell me, Peach Momoko. Beautiful interiors. Wasn't a big fan of the story of this book, a little on the fence about it. I definitely check out issue 2, but 100 sold, average $5 to $16, high for 20. Plenty of them out there. I'm kind of surprised that the secret variant isn't selling better than the A cover, but that's kind of been the story with these Ultimate Universe books, is that the A cover seems to be the one that everyone's going after. So let us know in the comments if you actually liked Ultimate X-Men, and if you would continue reading it.
It's definitely a different take on X-Men. It has Momoko fans. They're out there and they're buying it. And it's following a little bit of a trend of the A cover, which we cannot keep saying that it's under ordered because this book was not under ordered. However, it's still selling. So there you go. As Matt said, try to get the secret variant cover or the 1 in 10s now while they're cheap, because we've seen the trends in these books. What's the trend? In a couple weeks, one of the other books will start picking up.
Yeah, they start pivoting.
And it's worth keeping a note, too, that this book went to second print before it even released. Weeks before it even released, before it even FOC'd. So.
And there was a ridiculous amount of time to get this, knowing how Ultimate Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, I think Black Panther hit as well. Like
right. I do think it's kind of changing the narrative on the other two books to kind of some people's perspective that maybe those books weren't underprinted as is. It's just kind of a FOMO type situation where people are taking multiple copies.
People getting excited.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of see it because of how this one's panning out. Once again, I would disagree with Matt, though, however, that the story was completely terrible. It was pretty decent. It just was not an X-Men.
I don't think I said it was completely terrible. I think I said I'm on the fence about it.
Yeah, for you, that's saying it's bad. What I'm saying is it's not an X-Men book. It doesn't have the X-Men feel to it, but it definitely has. I've read worse Momoko before.
I think if you're looking for a #1 and you're a manga fan and you want to bridge that gap from manga to American comics, like this is a good one because it gives you that very manga art style feel into it while remaining an American comic style. So it's still worth checking out if you, like I said, if you want to make that jump from manga to comics.
Yeah, easy read too. Not hard on the eyes. Yeah.
If you have interest in X-Men and you don't want to worry about all the lore and all the years of history, this is a good way you can get into a brand new X-Men story without having any of that.
Very interesting character too shows up in here. There's a lot of theories of who that character might be, and I think that's driving some of the non-Momoko fans to pick the book up. So there you go.
Well, with that all said, we still got 9 more books to go. So let's get on to our next one.
A lot.
Number 9.
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost is on its way back. This is an Ashcan edition, covered by Matina. So this was an Ashcan that came to stores. There was another version that went to the Comics Pro, which was an exclusive to that convention. Space Ghost, his first comic appearance was in 1966. It was a Dell book, and he's had a couple iterations before that. But this seems like a much more serious take on the character. I mean, I love the old show on Cartoon Network, Coast to Coast. That was amazing. But this seems like a much more serious, not down to earth because it's space, but much more like
HB.
What's that?
The Hanna-Barbera style.
Yeah.
Definitely not comedic. It'll be
right. I don't think it's going to be funny. Yeah, it doesn't look funny at all. So, but this is selling for $10 to $15, and a high of 25.
Yeah.
This is again a little Ashcan too. This is one of those little guys, the minis, not
an actual Ashcan.
I'm pretty sure this will be the A cover for Space Ghost 1 when it comes out as well.
Yeah, and it's Dynamite, so there's going to be a million variants when it drops.
And if we're getting 2024,
there's good ones. There's some good ones.
Is this the new move? How many Ashcans do you think Dynamite now is going to start putting out? Like every book, right? Every book's getting after.
I think they have been. Like I think Gargoyles got one.
Gargoyles got one.
Duck got one.
They did.
Did Thundercats didn't though?
I think Thundercats got one. Yeah.
Oh, they did.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I don't know. I think they did. I'm not sure. Don't quote me.
Well, no, Gargoyles for sure, dude, because I have that.
Yeah, and some of them got the Comics Pro edition because again, the Comics Pro one of this was a full size comic though. as I understand it. This is again the little guy, but the Comics Pro giveaway was a full size.
Over under 10 covers. Over under 10 covers.
Yeah.
Over. Easy.
Over.
It's Dynamite.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Dynamite. Yeah, there's one for every letter of the alphabet.
Yeah, you're gonna go all the way to.
You'll get this
AAP.
cover. You'll get this cover in Virgin. You'll get this cover in black and white.
Yep.
Ultraviolet.
Color.
Yeah.
Copic.
Yeah, there'll be plenty.
You're gonna have to
Everything
call
is-
your 3D glasses for one of them, probably.
Yeah,
I know.
there's
I got them right here.
Baron's
just in
cover.
case.
There's some good covers on it. No, it's
3D's
too many.
on. See if we can see it.
If we're getting
It's just-
Space Ghost, I'm sure that Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt aren't far behind either.
Yeah.
So
That would be awesome.
That would be
Bring
pretty
it.
cool.
Bring it.
I bet you there's a cover with those on it for the number 1. All right.
All right, let's see what we got next.
Number 8.
Took a few seasons, but people want this book now.
I love it. It's Resident Alien number 0. Seems to be picking up some steam. High of 50. Last week it was doing 15 to 25. You got the most recent season 3 on Peacock right now. It's right about mid-season. Seasons 1 and 2 are on Netflix as well. So I think it's getting some more exposure at this point. Alan Tudyk is hilarious in the series.
What's this about?
It's about an alien who lands on Earth and assumes a human identity, and hilarity ensues. It's
I'm going to watch it now.
No, you should. You
Yeah,
should.
the guy who's playing the alien is pretty funny.
Yeah,
He's Steve
it's a
the
great
Pirate
show.
from Dodgeball.
Oh, all right. Yeah, for sure.
So it's a hilarious show. I think people are just some people are realizing, oh yes, this was a comic, and more people are going to go chase this.
I'll give it a
Hilarity
try.
ensued.
I'll give the show a try eventually.
Yeah, it's an easy watch. It's funny.
Where did you say it was, Joe? What?
I believe it's on Peacock now. I
Oh,
believe for the current season, but Netflix has the first 2 seasons.
I believe it's also on
That's
Sci-Fi
right.
Oh,
that-
channel.
That's
that's
I thought where it started on Sci-Fi. It's one of those shows that's moved and bounced around a bit. So
Sci-Fi still around. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they
Well,
just got
well, around-
Sharknado 14. No big deal.
The rest of our list.
Number 7.
Number 7.
All right, number 7, Giant Size Spider-Gwen. This is like a $7 book, but this is the 1 in 25. We've got somebody taking a selfie for a reason we just don't know. However,
Mary Jane.
inside of this book
Mary Jane.
is, yeah, I know who it is. Thanks. Thanks for interrupting too. A good job. However, what's inside the books is probably more important. Apparently, there's a stepson of Dr. Octavius, Doc Ock, as some of you people know, that kind of maybe get adopted. Great stuff. Spider fans just love that. They love Doc Ock. They love adopting random kids off the street. And they love pictures of Spider-Gwen feeling up Mary Jane in the air while she takes a selfie. Sold about 10 copies, average $30 to $45. You know, you're seeing this with the 1 in 25s on some of the other titles. Is the new price for the 125 coming out maybe $30, $40? Sure. Will it fall down probably in a couple weeks? Sure. But this isn't for Marvel, this isn't like a one-off, right? Like we've kind of been seeing the 1 in 25s have at least a couple of weeks in the stars where they're going above ratio. So this is the one that we're doing this week. This is what you get to see. Anybody like to add anything out to Giant Size Spider-Gwen? What a great read.
Well,
Look at the
I don't know
look
about
at
the
detail on
read.
the knuckles on that hand.
It's a very big hand. I like the fact that there is a
Here's not the comic.
band poster on there. The Mary Jane's is kind of a little like
Yeah,
thing
the
that's got a
band.
bunch of that's their band, and that's like was in the other universe. And I have a few different covers with the Mary Jane's on there, so I might have to hunt this one down.
So yeah, I'm guessing this carries over some of the stuff from Spider-Gwen Smash as well, which was very Mary Jane's centric.
It's also the return of Mary Jane as Carnage in this universe, in the guts of this book too. So if you liked,
So get up in those
Carnage
guts.
yeah, if you like when she was Carnage and you want to see the adopted son of Otto Octavius, this is the book for you.
Ooh, that's a banger. Hilarity ensues. I'm telling you.
Oh boy. Well, let's get on to our next one.
Number 6.
Well, a little bit delayed with the option news that the first look deal that Brian Michael Bendis got last week with, was it Amazon, I think?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jinx.
Amazon Prime.
Jinx is one of the books that they're looking to do. And once again, last week it sold a couple, only like $15, but this week it's selling now for like 30 to 40. This issue is not as easy to find as the second volume that's got like a yellow cover that you'll probably be more recognizable, as opposed to just this stark black trade dress cover. This is all you get. I don't even putting Brian Michael Bendis as the artist on this cover is a bit of a stretch. Maybe he did the blood splatters, but he did do the guts of this book, so we'll give him that credit.
Shout out Caliber Comics.
But yeah, Caliber. Well, what else did Caliber do?
The Crow.
Yeah, besides that.
It's a little thing called The Crow.
Yeah, well,
Besides
not
that,
this time.
Well,
wasn't it Dead World? or
after
something?
those pictures that were released this past week, maybe we're all trying to forget.
Yeah, I think we're all trying to forget about him.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
I don't know. So if you can find it,
Yeah, there you go.
Bendis verse.
And it's first on its way.
yeah, I mean, his early stuff wasn't bad. You like the crime stories? It was all right, but
I like the stuff he does with Malieve all the time.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But let's see what we got next. A little bit of a surprise.
Number 5.
This is not Private Benjamin, but Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, so we have Grunge Comics presents number 1. Beautiful Kurt Cobain brick wall cover. You know how we love our brick walls
Brick wall.
on this channel.
We do
Our
love
things on brick
wall.
walls. Over a dozen sold on 3/6. So yesterday sold for 30 to 75 bucks. This book was all over the place. High sales 100 plus. We are just under a month away from the 30th anniversary of Kurt's passing, as well as it seems to be a limited edition or a poster you can only get in this book that people are trying to hunt down. So it's one of those ones that was under the radar and just snuck out and bit everyone like a snake in the grass yesterday, but they're out there. I think there's one on eBay still for sale, but they are selling quickly.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's
Just
fire
something in the
going.
way we love brick walls on this channel.
Yeah, it's got to be brick. I think it's selling because of the brick wall, not because of the poster. That's not in all of them. That seemed to be found out a little bit later, or whoever's on the front cover. I don't know who that is, but whoever it is, good for him. He's on the cover in front of a brick wall, and that's what's making this sell because brick walls sell.
Oh boy, we're moving on now. After that, just
Nice little nod to Pearl Jam on the back as well for issue 2. So
no, don't sing, please.
brick wall love.
Brick wall.
Number 4.
We got another ash can, folks.
Number 4, Feral. We got the dog story. Now we're getting the cat story. It's an ash can. What can you say about ash cans? Last week, not a lot of sales or movement for this. This week, averages is $40 to $50. As it gets closer and as the promotion, it just seems like they're everywhere promoting this book. Really hitting the streets on it. So good for them. There's going to be a decent amount of covers from right here on this too, because that's what we like to do. So you'll get your fair choice of what they're going to do. And, we'll see how this one goes. They already had Stray Dogs 2. Now they're going to have the cat version with Feral. And they did a great job surprising us with Stray Dogs. We'll see if this takes off also.
They are continuing the trend with this book of doing the B cover as horror movie
horror
poster
ones,
homages. So
Yeah, which is pretty good. That was popular originally.
Yeah, they're fun.
See if it holds up. It's cool.
What
Good luck
movie
to
is this homaging? Do we know? You guys know?
I don't think this one is.
No, I don't think this.
Yeah, the ash can isn't.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
think that they missed the mark on not taking Kyle's idea and going after guinea pigs, but cats are good.
Maybe that's
Guinea
next. We don't know.
Yes,
Maybe.
They have time.
Yeah, there's plenty more for animals for them to do.
So let's get into our top 3.
Number 3.
Hi-oh. Well, they didn't sell enough of the first print, so why not go to a second print and sell a bunch of those? And I guess people bought a lot of those because they decided to go to a third print. And why not drain people a little bit more and have a 1 in 25 third print? That is a virgin version of the trade dress.
Jeez.
People
So
like
creative.
it. People like it. people are buying it, and you have over a dozen sold of a 1 in 25 of a third print, averaging $50 to $60. You had a high that hit 80. So, hey, they always say, buy what you like, and if this is what people like, people love the Speederman. They love them. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say about a third print 1 in 25. I mean, it's a blatant cash grab, but people are over a dozen apparently.
I think this is why it explains why there was a second print of the X-Men title out before the book actually FOC'd, is because
make sure.
But X going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Make sure you pay an extra $80 for that little like 2 inches of building you get.
Yep, you get that extra building. That makes all the difference in the world.
It's important because you want to see all of the buildings and don't want that messy trade dress in the way.
Well, at least they didn't write the reviews from other random people on the street like they did on the Constantine book. So
that is true.
10 out of 10 from Matt in Arizona. Hey,
I have a distaste for second print ratios, let alone third print ratios, especially if they're going to continue to be so late.
Yeah, I just don't like
virginize
but,
yeah, whatever, dude. People get suckered into buying.
It's not my money. It's not my money. So let's see what we got at number
2.
She's back.
Nice.
Power Girl number 6. This is the 1 in 25 by Dan Panosian. This book, I don't know how well it's selling, but I don't think a lot of stores probably ordered like 25 copies of this number 6 of Power Girl. But this is averaging $80. So 15 sold in this past week. This is the second week that's been out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the second week. So another 15 sold. So it's holding its level of sales. I think it actually bumped up a little bit. So
yeah, the price. Yeah, it was like a dozen last week at like 40 to 45, and now it's
so now it's up to $80.
Again, man, this was hard to find in pre-order just from stores. It was hard to find at a reasonable price if you could find it. So it's not surprising that it's bumping up a bit because it's a little bit scarce.
It also does seem.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, it seems like that DC is doing a little bit better job at the 1 in 25 game. If you've been paying attention for the last 6 months or so,
I would say a little bit is an underestimate.
Yeah, I mean,
well they're doing.
But it's definitely keeping a better track. It's not. It's going. I mean, you got to pick the winner in it still, but this is not a trend that we're going to see disappear.
Well, one thing they're not doing is all the Virgin 1 in 100s.
Yeah, fair enough. And that they're staying at the 25 point, which is kind of doing pretty good for
they have
them
50s too sometimes.
I know, but it's like rarer than the 25 is like they're like that's where their lane kind of has carved out for them. And they've been doing a pretty good job. It's been holding pretty well. The art's been pretty good. And I don't think anybody complains about most of their covers, especially the ones that stick at these prices. Where, as you just saw from number 3 and maybe even Giant Size Spider, whatever, a little bit of a different stories. Yeah, Spider Knuckles, big hand Spider Knuckles. So,
and Panosian, I mean, got to give it to him. He's been working for over 20 some years, and it's decent art, and he's still,
killing it.
Giving us some good covers. Yeah,
his stuff has been getting better and better and better.
Yeah, so respect to that guy. He's been hustling, getting it done.
Which leaves us with one more to go.
And our number 1.
Speaking of DC and speaking of, this one's a 1 in 50. It's back on the list again. The Harley Quinn number 37 by Sebastian Fiumara.
Oh, there you go.
However you say it. I always butcher names. Thanks. Dub's always around to help fix my pronunciation.
I'm here for you, brother.
But this book, while it does not have a ton of volume to go with it, copy sold this week, $165, $200, and then the last copy sold at auction ended, I think, yesterday for $310. This book has been out 8 days at this point.
Wow.
30 bids, $310. And as of right now, when we do this on Thursday, there are no copies available. So this might actually be hard to find. Does that mean these prices are warranted? Well, the market says so right now. We'll see what happens over time. But I like this cover. I know a lot of people don't like it. Too creepy.
It's a very divisive cover.
Like
It's a either people love it or they don't like it.
I like it.
That's
I'm
how
on
all
the like
covers
it.
work.
I don't like it. No,
Yeah,
not
I mean,
necessarily.
people always like or don't like covers, but what this one, what you have to say is, it does seem whoever likes them is willing to pay for them because they're wiping it out, and there's not a lot of it. The bids are getting crazy with the 30 bids on for $310. Once again, kind of like we were talking about DC earlier, it looks like they're making it work. I mean, we've always talked about how to tap into the DC fandom, and you're kind of seeing that this list, even with some of the pre-books, the book that Joe picked out early, it's DC starting to get a little bit more sustainable momentum, as in DC had always had a pop here or pop there, but man, they're 1 in 25. This is the 1 in 50. I hope they don't get to the 1 in 100 game, because that seems to be their breaking point. But this is, I mean, it's a good book.
They've had a nice blend of they've had good buzz with stories as well, and then good mix of some good covers, some good ratios. It's a nice all around buzz,
and it's card stock too. Correct? This one is just like the last one, right? So
you're doing better, nicer stock of paper.
They're doing it in better stock of paper, which I think people are having more faith in too. So there's a lot of good stuff going on over there at DC.
Now,
Don't
it makes
fall
sense
asleep on
to put your premium books on premium paper.
Oh no, crap!
Less of a chance of having your 1 in 100 covered in spine ticks on cheap marble paper.
Yeah, it looks like somebody sat on it.
Yeah. No, so I mean, it's really good. I mean, hats off. You got to give the hats off. I know we like to make fun of DC when they're doing stuff wrong. You got to give it to them when they're doing stuff right. And currently, you can say whatever you want about them. Look at the market; they're doing things right. So,
yeah.
I just don't like when they try so hard to make her look so much like the Joker. Like, I feel like this cover would work better if it was a Joker cover versus a Harley cover, in my opinion. I just don't like how closely they try to make them look like each other.
Well, she's batshit crazy.
It almost looks like it's a video game character.
Yeah.
And then I do like with DC, like you see the art, and all the trade dress is small. It's there. You can see it. There's no question what it is. And you see so much of the art. So like you're saying with DC, you have to give them credit for doing the right things like that.
DC does a bang up job on minimal trade dress.
Yeah, fantastic.
They do.
Yeah, they do a great job. I mean, that's you. I hope that's the reason why these are selling, is that they're doing a good job, and maybe other publishers take a page out of DC's book finally.
So what I'm understanding is they're doing a great job.
I think you're right. Yes.
I hear they're doing a great job. Yes.
Obviously.
Word on the street.
Yeah, and some people like covers and some people don't like covers. Never heard that one
man
before.
was holding a sign down the road today that said DC doing a great job.
There you go.
But if you're interested in this idea of battling Marvel
sure.
versus DC, well, stick around after we're done here, because the qualified is going to start up next.
Yep, we're going to take some keys throughout the ages and take a look, a little Marvel versus DC, and see what falls out. Good time.
Yeah, should be fun.
I don't know a lot of those books.
But that's all we got for you as far as the list goes this week. I guess we'll see you all guys next week. Later.